She's hilarious. The one on the wall.
On the sides though? On the sides?
No, I meant,
The
yes,
side
there's one.
All right, let's get this meeting going. Welcome to our City Council work session. We have 3 City Council members here tonight, and our mayor is out of town. First thing we're going to do is take public comment. I have one name, Alan Sizemore. Alan, would you mind stepping up here, sir?
Sure.
Somewhere in this vicinity, so you can be on the mic. We have a 3-minute limit. You'll hear sound, wrap things up. There's no back and forth between you and the council on these. So anybody else would like to speak, or we need somebody to fill out one of those. You want to speak? Did you grab one of these? Okay, just give it to him here in a second when he finishes. All right, go right ahead, sir.
All right, so my name's Alan Sizemore, and I'm here to talk about the flock cameras. We need to start off by discussing the security or lack thereof of these things. Technologist Ben Jordan and researcher John Gaines found flock condor people tracking cameras streaming live with no login. 404 Media verified 60 feeds. Reporter Jason Kova recorded himself crossing a street median in Bakersfield, California, and recording himself on the open live stream. Later, Ben Jordan filmed himself at Peachtree Creek Greenway on feeds that tracked him. Denver's 9 News and West Palm Beach's WFLX reported that Flock, the company, confirmed the exposed police camera feeds. Flock called it a limited misconfiguration, but frankly speaking, Crossville should not trust a vendor that left live streams open on the internet. Next, we're going to talk about accountability and transparency. Officials from across the country have used Flock for personal stalking and curiosity searches, then lost jobs and or faced charges. Recently in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, an officer searched a woman he was dating and her ex nearly 180 times. Fortunately, he resigned and pled guilty. An internal affairs detective who worked that case was later charged for using Flock for personal use and secretly installing a GPS tracker. Georgia departments, fired and charged officers in a massive wave just here recently. Savannah put 6 employees on leave. In Oak Ridge, just over the time zone there, that proves that it can happen here in Tennessee. Furthermore, cities from Huntington, West Virginia, all the way to Wichita, Kansas, also face lawsuits over these systems. The voters and taxpayers are going to be the ones paying out for these lawsuits, y'all. Lastly, we need to evaluate the leadership of Flock. CEO Garrett Langley told police clients that they were, quote, under a coordinated attack, unquote, from activists who want to normalize lawlessness, and that public records requests are being turned into a weapon. In a Forbes interview, he called people who map publicly visible cameras as terrorist organization closer to Antifa than lawful advocacy. In Staunton, Virginia, Police Chief Jim Williams, much to his great credit, rejected that story. He called Resident Questions, quote, democracy in action. Fortunately, after that, Staunton canceled their Flock subscription, and the city said the CEO's narrative does not reflect their values. Crossville doesn't need to wait until a lawsuit comes to our door, so here's what I'm asking. Cancel those cameras and remove them. Require a public hearing and a recorded city council vote before any more surveillance equipment is ever proposed again. If you will not cancel, at least take a recorded yes or no vote each year before renewal with no automatic renewal that skips public vote and scrutiny. And for God's sake, publish monthly use reports that we can check without TPRA requests. Thank you.
I got Roger Romero, and you're here to talk about something. Go ahead.
So in addition, the cameras are a problem, and we need to be aware as citizens what this means. The cameras in a surveillance state, and where does it end? I believe this is a Fourth Amendment Constitution problem, and it will be addressed as such in the future. So as the council, please think of yourself as a servant of the people, if you do not already do so, okay? As a protector of rights, because that's the main focus of our government, is to protect our rights, including your own, right? So God created us. We created the Constitution. The Constitution created the government. It is the ruler of the government, not of us. And it's our duty to impose that Constitution upon our governments, to keep them in line, and by surveilling, by tracking, keeping data, it's a Fourth Amendment, it's a search, and there needs to be a warrant. And I think soon enough, it will become a problem constitutionally. And maybe we should be able to fix that for the people, we the people, before it comes to that. But, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Please state what your name. Oh, Craig, sorry. Sorry, I didn't see you.
Yep, I got it on my shirt.
Yeah.
My name is Craig Clark, and I live at 2266 Highway 68, Crossville. That's District 3 in the County Commission. I would like to speak quickly about water rates and the assignment of wholesale water prices. And I would like for that to be independently reviewed, such that it's not necessarily fair to ratepayers across the use of the water where that is arbitrary or capricious in the establishment of the rate. Right now, I pay the higher rate for my water in Homestead, and I pay it to the city directly. And I don't think that's right. It should be to the ratepayers' consideration of the operation of the water and the price of the water. Also in District 3 is Kansas area and south of there, which is the Cumberland, used to be Cumberland South Utility District, now is CPWA. Okay, if the water contract to them is increased overpriced, that's not equitable to those ratepayers. So that should have an independent audit of some type with respect to the state to make sure that the price established is equitable to all the ratepayers in the county. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Is that it?
I have the first item on the agenda. Am I supposed to address that?
Oh, just hang on a second. Yeah, we're going to. The first item on the agenda is the annexation of TMP 101-02103. This was brought by the mayor, who's not here. This is Nick Jenkins. He's a property owner in the city that wishes to be de-annexed. You got some words to say?
There's a map showing all of the areas in question highlighted there, with the middle one being my property. And here was the original annexation of that property, and only had one of those to get bring us to share it at that time. And here was the example of the annexation of property.
Make sure you get this back. Sorry, this is yours, right?
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you get it back.
Thanks.
I got PDH too bad.
Council members, fellow members of the community, my name is Nick Jenkins. I own the property that is 37 Hyder Ridge Road here in Crossville, Tennessee. The property currently lies within the city limits, however, I'm seeking de-annexation from the city. Hyder Ridge Road is located off East First Street to the north, towards the easternmost portion of East First Street. Historically, the city limits of that area were dictated by East First Street frontage, reaching out some distance from the road. At the time of that city limits perimeters, the parcel in question was part of a larger parcel, roughly 15.5 acres, that did have East First Street road frontage. That parcel has since been split off at different times into 3 different parcels. The first split of that portion was for the construction of the LBJNC Head Start. Took off about 3 3/4 acres, leaving 12 3/4 roughly between the properties that will be brought up. Spring of 2011, the parcel at 219 Hyder Ridge Road requested annexation of the city. Most annexations, as you know, seem to be associated with the need for city sewer hookup. That may have been the initial cause of this annexation request, but ultimately never resulted in sewer hookup or a mainline extension of Hyder Ridge Road. With the annexation of that property to the north of the 73 Hyder Ridge Road address, it seems that the owners at the time of 73 Hyder Ridge Road voluntarily agreed to being annexed into the city as well. That annexation took in approximately 27.17 acres between 3 different properties. 3 different properties at that time would be split off more or less. The property on the corner of East First Street and Hyder Ridge has since been developed into Strawberry Ridge Lane and split off again. That split resulted in my parcel of about 7.28 acres that is a topic of fair discussion. Having said all that, the resulting parcel has no East First Street road frontage, no immediate sewer line hookups available at the road that is Hyder Ridge Road. So the property has no East First Street frontage, no current sewer availability at the Hyder Road frontage. We have no intentions of extending the sewer lines to hook up to it. The property is in close proximity to multiple neighboring properties located in the county. With all this being said, I feel de-annexation to be a fair and proper way to proceed, as it was a voluntary annexation to begin with by a previous owner. Also, I was not at the Planning Commission meeting. I was out of town for work on that, but I understand the terms dangerous precedent, opening Pandora's box, and mass exodus were all mentioned multiple times. I feel these items may be a slight exaggeration given the uniqueness of the particular situation as a whole. Situations that would check all these boxes, I feel like would be few and far between, and I feel like ultimately they would deserve the same outcome that I hope that this situation arrives to, which would be a de-annexation. And the term dangerous precedent in and of itself may not be applicable here, as precedent may have already been set. There's a property near the corner of what is now Northside Lane, Northside Drive at the time, and 70 North that may have already opened that box and set the precedents and has similarities to our current situation. It is my understanding that the property owner at the time sought annexation of the city in anticipation of the new Northside Drive bypass going in front of their property. The bypass ultimately took a slightly varied route that was not in front of the property. The owner was had no longer desired to be in the city, and de-annexation was an end result in this case. And the de-annexation paperwork, is included there. Situation like mine, the situation in mine are obviously not the exact same. However, they do have some parallels. Both occasions discussed involved a voluntary annexation and a voluntary de-annexation request. Given this information, the situation appears to not be the first of its kind, and the precedent seems to have already been set. Having said all that, I appreciate council's consideration of the matter. Thank you very much for your time and the opportunity to address the council.
Thank you. Thank you. Step here, just go ahead and sit down. Appreciate you.
Yes, may I say something?
Yes.
To the council, after this young man appeared at the city council meeting, I had an opportunity to look up the statutes in regard to the annexation. The law changed on July 1st, 2023, and it provides that it's not available. They try to make it tougher to de-annex for the reasons, it's part of the reasons that you talked about. And so they look at whether or not the property does create an unincorporated territory that's completely surrounded by boundaries, whether the owner or some of the property at the time the original petition was made was annexed, or whether you're a descendant, whether or not it's agriculture property, that kind of stuff. And reviewing Mr. Jenkins' request, respectfully, I think you're a great young man. I appreciate you coming to the council, but I don't think he legally qualifies for de-annexation.
So with that, sorry, family or the original property owner or descendants of them, they would be
Well, even then,
Albertine
it still has to create, there's certain
criteria
that you have to fit within, and I don't think that you fit within that, based on where your property is located.
So you saying, Randy, with a new law, if one of us voted to de-annex, that would be an illegal vote?
I'm saying if it would be contrary to that statute.
To the new state law statute?
Yes, sir. Now, what that means depends on who's interpreting it, I guess. But that certainly would be contrary to that statute.
When did that go into effect?
July 1st, 2023. I sent you, all of you, a letter, and I misstated the date on that. It's 2023, not 2003.
So prior to that date, something like this would have been...
It would have been easier. I'm not saying it would have happened.
Right, it would have been
But
more viable.
Yeah, the statute is, I think, is particularly geared towards not allowing that to happen, to protect the boundaries of the community and the municipality.
I assume what we need to do, though, is hold this over for the meeting.
Either that, if you want it to go to the meeting, or you can choose not to send it to the meeting, either way.
You guys have an opinion on that?
Do you think it was the mayor's intent for it to make it to the meeting?
I don't.
Well, my opinion was if they wanted to be annexed, I believe it's good to be annexed. But if they didn't want to be, I had opinions, okay? But that's contrary to the state law.
Mr. Jenkins, just for curiosity, I don't know the answer to this. Have you checked to see if you were de-annexed, if that would in any way impact your homeowner's insurance rates, since you would no longer be covered by Crossville Fire and City Fire and City Police
I
Protection?
have not, because it's just raw property right now.
Well, you have an ISO rating of 3, I think, which is 1 is the best, and possibly, you'd have to check with your insurance, if you de-annexed, it could possibly go to a 9. Don't hold me to that, which is the highest rates for homeowners. That's why the ISO inside the city, like I said, 1 being the best, and since a long time ago, we've been striving to get our ISO, that's Insurance Services Organization, to get your rates down in the city, and it's been achieved. And striving to be a 1. Memphis is the only 1 in the state of Tennessee, I think. So Crossville is doing good on as far as saving insurance, fire insurance for citizens. That's inside the corporate limits.
I kind of think we should take a formal vote. Someone should just hold it over to the meeting and we'll vote on it. Okay, discussion on wholesale water rates. I'm just going to pass it over to Jeff just to come on and speak, but this is regarding some water we sell to South Cumberland and Grandview, thank you. Go ahead and I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, no problem. Council, thanks for letting me come in and talk about this. I think it's a very important subject. It's a different view for me tonight. I'm coming to you as a customer. This is not about trying to merge with CPWA and have that discussion. It's about the wholesale rate. So as a customer, pretty concerning the impact of what's happening. I'm not sure that was described to you in the budget meetings. I have Rick Bilbrey here also, so Grandview is here. Rick Bilbrey representing Grandview. It's important to them that they're under the same type of contract. There's the exact same contract that affects them that affects CPWA. So this last week, I sent a message. I was sitting at my desk and I thought, man, I need to reach out to Valerie Nathan and just kind of see where things are. Sent a message to say, where did this land on the wholesale rate? I sat through meetings, listened to budget meetings. I heard back and forth, but I didn't really know where it landed. And the reply back was, we have increased the wholesale rate 25% according to the contract because the council did not say they did not want to increase the wholesale rate 25%. So after the meeting, after I got that email, that was my first time hearing about a 25% wholesale increase to us. I then had the staff find the bill, the most current bill that we had just received. And the current bill says there was a rate increase effective July 1st for inside rate, both inside and outside sewer rates. If applicable, it will be reflected on your next bill. So still, no official notice from the city to the wholesaler customers that the impact was happening to them in the wholesale rate. I called Mr. Bilbrey from Grandview, said, hey, have you guys heard anything about this? It's a shock to them. They had no idea they were about to be impacted with a 25% wholesale rate increase to their customers. So with no real time to plan from a utility, you can imagine the struggles of just finding out, hey, you're getting hit with 25%, you better figure out how to deal with that with your customers. So for utilities that may be struggling or tough to operate, it's going to be crippling to those utilities. So why was I shocked? Well, on the June 2nd work session, it was made clear that the city was covering its cost on its current wholesale rate. And I'll beg that it is covering quite a bit more than its cost because of the last several increases that had already taken place previously that moved that water up to $4.75 per thousand. So after those two last increases, you were already covering costs, which was asked in that meeting to the finance director, are we covering our costs? Yes, absolutely. Then the conversation turned back to increasing the inside city rate with a mission to try to equalize that to the outside. And that's where that hung for a long time during that meeting and never really went back to say we're absolutely doing the wholesale rate as well. And here's a snapshot of what's happening. So the Miller Bypass project that Crab Orchard Utility signed with the cities on a totally different formula. But that water is estimated to be anywhere from $3.70 to $3.80 per thousand. So already less than what is now the new current standard for wholesale water rate to CPWA and to Grandview. If you look at other contracts, Harriman Utility was talking with Crab Orchard on a contract to send water from Harriman into the system for $3.80 per thousand. We're talking about sending water maybe half a mile and being at $4.71. You've got contracts across the state where wholesale water is $1.50, $3.52. You're selling to Catoosa for $1.50. So in the past, if your wholesale rate was, or for you to produce the water, it's probably hovering around $2, maybe even sub $2. The industry average, you look it up, I mean, $3 would be as okay. When you start reaching $4, $5 a thousand, you're way outside the norm of even the high industry standard. So let's talk about what that impact means to people like CPWA and to Grandview. So we were sitting at $4.57, which was already considered a high rate for wholesale water. We're now at $5.71. So that looks like annually, just on the sales to one area, one district of Cumberland County, is roughly $320,000 annually for that utility. So my question is this: if you're already covering the cost at $4.57, and you're covering it at the $3.80 for Miller Bypass, and there's not been any additional expenses to produce that water for those areas, and you don't maintain those systems, same thing going for Grandview, did you mean to go up to $5.71 on the 25% rate increase? Because the plan was this year 25%, and next year another 25%. So I don't guess what that puts our water at. About $7, over $7 a thousand next year is what that water would be. There's no comparison to that amount that I can find anywhere that water is sold wholesale for that price. So this makes the city the most expensive water, especially when you look at the per feet for traveling distance. So I'm just trying to get some help here to understand. I went back and watched the meeting. I think there was a ton of discussion about trying to equalize the inside-outside. Very little discussion about wholesale rate. So is the decision, or was your decision to raise it 25? And if it wasn't, what I'm asking, and I believe what Grandview's asking, and Rick can speak to this if he would like, I'm asking you to reconsider that wholesale rate and do what's necessary to either amend that current contract, because I get the position for Valerie Nathan. There's a contract, 20-year-old contract that's tied that says those rates move in adjustment to the inside city rate. I think that's meant for normal practice of price movement, not 25% one-time shot wholesale rate increase. I believe on a normal average of maybe a 1% increase, those types of things are normal, but not a 25% increase. So maybe, to Craig's point, is there any justification to that? And if that's not what you meant, I'm asking if you'll reconsider that, move that to full council, make a decision to move that back at least to the $4.57, which I still think is higher than industry average on wholesale water. And these contracts end December of 2027. Rick, is there anything you...
It's going to devastate us.
Yeah, you're going to take a utility that could cripple the utility.
I don't know if you guys have had any time to think about this, but I think I'd like to get it moved to the meeting next week. Give you time to give us time to look into this. And my memory on it was I was focused on our our dilemma with our Crossville City water and sewer and the, how the rate structure was done in that particular thing. And honestly, the wholesaler thing, I'm sure it was discussed, I missed it. It didn't hit me. We were paying attention to how, trying to equalize our rates that we have, with the folks who are in the city, and then the Craigs who are just out, and the fairness of rating and stuff like that. And so this part got changed in this. So the mayor wants to discuss it, and so anyhow, so we'll.
Well, I don't remember talking that much about it either. Maybe if this is for next week, that seemed like a real quick decision. Maybe we should put a hold on that until we get more information on that increase. That's just a thought.
We could do something like that.
I guess my question again is, it's already in effect. Like we're being billed for it now.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see the specific contract language. And
Yeah.
to get a chance to review that, as to how the inside city rate change
Yeah,
affects the automatic adjustment of wholesale rates. I'm unfamiliar with that exact language at this time.
Yeah. I think the contract is going to be clear, this is what happens.
So what are you saying, the next?
It's just that this is, I think the intent, I don't think anybody foresaw this particular situation
The
arising.
intent to raise them 25% for wholesale rates, it was ratepayers.
That was the meeting. The meeting was more to equalize inside to outside. There was some minimal discussion on wholesale rate. No decision was made on that it was absolutely going to happen to wholesale. It just triggered because of the contract specifies that, which means you as a council, you have to say or make an action to not let that piece engage. It happened because it triggered when you approved the 25% increase to the inside city customer, whether you knew about it or not.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Let's hold that over for the meeting next week, please.
So what are we going to be voting on then?
Under other business.
Other business, yes. Honestly, I'm not sure how this is going to, I guess in the meantime, we need to find out, what's the impact.
If we put it under other business, it can be discussed further, and somebody can make a motion at that point.
And we'll say that again.
If we put it under other business, it can be discussed further, and a motion can be made at that point.
Okay.
And how the best way is to handle it. Okay, number 3, a discussion regarding approval of a contract amendment for non-competitive ARPA funding. I guess Viles can.
Yeah, we're requesting approval for contract amendment. We received an additional $1.2 million for the non-competitive ARPA funding. This is funds that was left over from other utility districts or other cities that didn't get used, and we had spent more than what we were granted, so they're going to reimburse us part of what we overmatched, basically, which
That's
was about
pretty good.
$3 to $4 million. It's just extra money that we're getting.
I say we should move that to the meeting. That was the easiest one yet. Okay, discussion regarding approval of contract with H2O Innovations for 7.0 MGD membrane filtration system, Meadow Park Lake Water Treatment Plant. Joe, that's you?
I think
I
that's
think the
me.
city attorney's going to handle this, yeah.
Okay.
So, this is a super complicated contract, and we have gone through this not once but several times, and it's a very lengthy contract. I cannot recommend to the council to pass it in its current form, and as such, we are meeting in the morning in a face-to-face meeting to make sure that everybody's on the same page. I would ask that this be passed to the city council meeting next Tuesday in hopes that we can get something together. It's vitally important that we get a pilot project in for the city, but we just need to change some things in this contract.
Move that one.
Do you want it under other business, or do you?
Other business.
Number 5 is an airport committee thing that's going to be pulled from this, so that's all we have for tonight.
I have a comment, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I have a comment from Mr. Jenkins. Mr. Jenkins, if you don't care, would you check with your insurance, your fire insurance company and say, I may be possibly de-annexed. I'm at a current 3 ISO rating in the city, but I may be de-annexed. Will this affect, which means the Crossville Fire or police or ISO fire don't respond to your residents unless called on for mutual aid, and it will be under the Cumberland County Fire Department's jurisdiction, and ask them if your insurance rates will go up, or if they say, well, what is, you're so close to the city, we'll give you a courtesy, but really they shouldn't. It should go by what it should be, from a 1 to a 10. I mean, I'm just asking my questions, and it may be, if they say, hey, your fire insurance is going up tremendously, you may want to rethink your...
It doesn't seem like I have anything to rethink.
Pardon?
It doesn't seem like I have anything to rethink.
Well, no, I don't know. I would just check on that just to see how it affects you, and I don't know if you thought about that or not. I don't know who you got your fire insurance with, but I would just check with them, see how it would change your yearly rates. And tell us if it is or isn't. That's all.
That's all? I get a motion to adjourn?
That's trying to help you.
So moved.
So move on the adjournment.
Pardon?
Second the adjournment?
Yes.
All right, let's go home.